Happening now, a fundraiser for a Dunkirk man killed in a snowmobile accident has raised thousands for his grieving family. And the city of Jamestown's mayor is looking back at what we've overcome in the past year. Plus, the snow is on its way, but how much will we get? Dakota's forecast just seconds away.
Live and on demand, this is WNY News Now.
And thanks for joining us for WNY News Now. I'm Justin Gould. Our region is bracing for a big blast of snow this week. Chief Forecaster Dakota Hunter joining us live now with more. In Dakota, I hear we're getting more info now on this storm's timing and how much snow we could see.
Yes, we're finally starting to get a handle on kind of what we're looking at from this storm. So first of all, the whole map is colored in blue. That is a winter storm watch that is in place for all of the southern tier, all of western New York, and all of northwestern Pennsylvania. This starts tomorrow night and runs all the way through Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. Now understand, this is just a watch, but I do expect this to be upgraded to a winter storm warning, probably either later today or early tomorrow. They will upgrade this. There's pretty high confidence that this is going to be an impactful storm. And take a look at how far the winter storm watch actually extends, all the way from Texas all the way up into New England. That is how far this storm system stretches, and we already have some winter storm warnings. That's the purple, the pink color right there. That is the winter storm warnings already in effect, and we're going to see those as we go throughout the next couple of, as we go throughout the day. So this is the track here. We showed you the two scenarios. This is the scenario that's likely going to play out here. The storm track is going to be further to the south, so that's going to keep the sleet and freezing rain away from the region, but this is ultimately going to bring us some heavy snowfall, mainly Wednesday night, Thursday, and then going into Thursday night. So here it is for you, high impact all the way up on the scale there. Rain to wintry mix on Wednesday, then the heavy snow starts Wednesday night and then lasting all the way through Friday. Starts to taper off later in the day on Friday. The totals could reach 1 foot or more. Understand that or more part. There could be more onto it. So we'll give you more details on that during the full weather segment here. So 33 to 41 today. You would not look outside and say, oh, just in a day or two we're going to have snow. But it's going to be a nice start to February. We'll time out that snow chances along with that Ultimate Satellite Solution 7-day forecast later on in the show. Justin.
Yes, Dakota, it's the calm before the storm. Thank you, sir. A push to raise money for a 37-year-old Dunkirk man who died in a snowmobile crash in Chautauqua County late Sunday is now underway. Our Bronson Rasmussen picks up the story from the newsroom.
Justin, Thomas Allen was riding his sled on a trail in the town of Chautauqua when the crash occurred. Chautauqua County Sheriff deputies, along with several other emergency units, were dispatched to the area of Bloomer Road around 10 p.m. Allen was pronounced deceased at the scene after medical personnel attempted to save his life. On Monday, a GoFundMe was created by a family friend to cover his final expenses. According to friends, the Dunkirk native was known as a doting father to his 2 kids. In under 24 hours, the fundraiser brought in almost $19,000 of his $25,000 goal. The organizer says she hopes the money can help Allen's family grieve their loss without the added stress of financial worry. At this time, investigators are still looking into what caused the accident. In the newsroom, Bronson Rasmussen, WNY News Now.
Bronson, thank you for the update. A well-documented member of the Jamestown Human Rights Commission failed to secure the City Council's approval of his nomination during their meeting last night. Resident Justin Hubbard, who also spearheads the Jamestown Justice Coalition, was nominated by Mayor Eddie Sundquist last month as part of the mayor's broad appointment list. Hubbard spoke during the meeting. He was, however, challenged by fellow city resident Missy Paternity.
Whatever I've done in my public life, I have done in the pursuit of justice and representation for the marginalized people of Jamestown. It hasn't made me popular, but I believe that doing the right thing rarely does. I hope that the council allows me to continue to serve the city as a member of the Human Rights Commission. But if not, I will let you know that I will continue to serve the people of Jamestown, especially those that are marginalized. I will speak truth to power, and as John Lewis said, I will continue to get into good trouble.
And I'm just asking you, as the city council, that have the ability to remove this gentleman from the commission, please do so. Because he doesn't belong there. He has the ability to have information through the city of Jamestown and gets to choose if he wants to run it in the Human Rights Commission or his Jamestown Justice Coalition.
Now, a letter to the council was read earlier in that meeting voicing support for Hubbard's reappointment. And a contractual agreement between the city and the Jamestown Fire Department was struck down last night by the lawmaking body. The council voted against the agreement 5-2, with City Council President Tony Dulce and Ward 3 Representative Regina Brackman casting votes in favor. According to the agreement, the contract would have covered from January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2024. FJLR, 4 new firefighters would have been hired. Additionally, a pay increase each year would have been included, while health insurance for new hires would have ended at the federal Medicare eligible age. Now, following the meeting, Mayor Eddie Sundquist released a statement expressing his disappointment. He explains that the council failed to invest in safety for city residents and firefighters. The council, however, approved a new agreement with the Jamestown Kennel Club Police Benevolent Association that includes pay increases from January 1, 2021 through December 31st, 2024. And after a year of much uncertainty, Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist delivered his State of the City address yesterday, showcasing how much the mayor says the city has overcome in just this past year. Our Julia Gress is breaking down what he had to say.
In the height of the coronavirus pandemic, we were in dire financial straits, unsure of federal and state government assistance to escape the oncoming crisis. This, combined with the city's considerable legacy costs and the tax rate right near the tax cap, meant we were headed straight for a financial control board.
Jamestown Mayor Eddie Sundquist says that the city was looking at severely diminished services in the upcoming years, even with an emergency plan. However, Sundquist says the city's financial situation has improved over the last year from multiple perspectives.
Strong growth in sales tax and home values, producing increased revenue, coupled with judicious and conservative budgeting, have combined to create a large fund balance.
The mayor also noted the contribution of the new retiree health care plan, which will save the city over $200,000 a year, and each retiree to save over $1,500 a year in premium costs. Additionally, $28 million from the American Rescue Plan Act will be invested in residents, neighborhoods, health, infrastructure, and local businesses. The various departments across the city have completed numerous feats over the year, including the Jamestown Police Department.
According to our latest estimates, property and violent crime has dropped in the city year over year. The police department has seized more firearms and drugs in the city, showing the effectiveness of the Metro Drug Task Force. Additionally, we've added a number of new officers this year, including K9 Hope, who's assisted in more than 70 details as a comfort dog for victims of domestic violence.
The SWAT team also met incredibly high standards this year, keeping the community safe. The Jamestown Fire Department implemented a new EMS billing system and acquired a new fire reporting software which will save taxpayers $200,000 yearly. State funding led to an increase in work for the Department of Public Works, which created over 5,800 feet of new sidewalk, 8,100 feet of new curbs, and 90 new handicap ramps, just to name a few of their accomplishments.
Our Department of Development had just as good of a year, continued to deal with related housing issues across the city, and taken a more active role in holding absentee landlords accountable. Last year alone, through our vacant and zombie property law initiatives, the Department of Development filed over 40 lawsuits and many more in the pipeline.
Sundquist continued that all the offices of the city made extraordinary efforts this year to make Jamestown a better place for its residents to live. The mayor also looked to the future of Jamestown, listing improvements that must be made to increase safety.
That's why I'm announcing a new Vision Zero campaign for Jamestown, which aims to eliminate fatal and serious injuries from traffic accidents through design. Our schools are mostly located in high traffic areas with high speeds. The reality is that we can prevent these tragedies by taking a proactive, preventative approach that prioritizes traffic safety as a public health issue.
Julia Gress, WNY News Now.
Julia, thank you. As we roll along, the latest in a propane fueled explosion here in our region. And later, the newest penguin in a New York zoo, which was hatched by, get this, 2 male parents. Stay with us at WNY News Now. We'll be right back.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Now is the time to make your real estate move. Call us to list your home in Cattaraugus County. Choose the #1 real estate team in Ellicottville. Call Team Pritchard, 716-575-SELL. The market is hot. Call 716-575-SELL today.
Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Brought to you by the Chautauqua Safety Village and the Jamestown Fire Department.
Welcome to Amish John's Pizzeria, where you are the most important customer.
Everything from freshly made subs to the best of pizza and wings, Honest John's has it all.
And don't forget the ice cream!
Order online today or check out our 2 great locations with buffets ready for every appetite.
Don't I have the best job in the world?
EagleZip.com is your local one-stop shop for all of your home and business computer needs. Located on Fluvan Avenue Extension, just outside of Jamestown, EagleZip.com sells and services all brands of desktops and laptops, as well as servers and network equipment for your business. All new computer sales include transferring your data from your old computer, plus a 2-year warranty. Call EagleZip.com today.
Stop by EagleZip.com today and let us make computers easy for you.
You're watching WNY News Now, where coverage comes first.
3 people were hurt during an Amish buggy crash in Cattaraugus County. The sheriff's office there says that crash happened on Saturday morning around 8:30 on New Albion Road in the town of Leon. 5 people, deputies report, were inside the buggy at the time. 3 were taken via ambulance to UPMC Chautauqua Hospital in Jamestown for treatment. 2 others were uninjured. And deputies say those in the car that struck the buggy were not hurt either. It's unclear if they will face charges. 3 people are undergoing treatment for burns after an explosion at Low Bucks Propane near Wattsburg, Pennsylvania yesterday. It was first reported as a fire at the business, which is located along Route 8 in Venango Township, Erie County. Around 9:30 in the morning, the explosion happened at a propane filling station, according to reports at the scene. An ambulance took the victims to nearby Erie County Airport. They were then flown via medical helicopter for treatment. 2 were taken to Buffalo, the other taken to Pittsburgh. And we're told they are in critical but stable condition. And with the warm-up we're seeing, you might be concerned about some large hanging ice from your gutters, leaving many wondering, what should you do with them? Erie News Now's Molly Samora spoke with folks in the know who say, don't try and take them down yourself.
Look at the roof and see, am I missing snow in areas and is it repeated? You know, it's really nice to see when you got a light, fresh snow and you can see those melt spots. That's a clue, and then you can see that pattern, and then it gives an idea of what do I need to do, what can I do to help prevent this in the future.
Everywhere, houses look like this, icicles forming on gutters of homes. But what do you do about it? The folks at Gutter Solutions tell me just to stay away from them for now.
Avoid the area, don't knock them down, and just let nature take its course.
While you might want to get rid of the icicles hanging from your roof, marketing manager Nathan Brewer says it's best to wait it out and find the root of the problem for the future. Brewer says heat cables can help melt the snow, but it's too late in the season to install those now.
It's more of a Band-Aid for the underlying problem a little bit, but unfortunately, now's not the time when you can put it on. Now's the time when you can see that you may need it. that or insulation, but to put it on, you really need a clear roof to be able to install things properly.
And if your house looks like this, where it's leaking into your home, he says the best thing to use is ice pucks if you can get your hands on them.
And they do work. In the pinch, in an emergency, if you can get them in the right spot, that chemical will start to break through the ice and it will allow it to drain away, is the idea, so it's not going to keep coming inside your home. You don't want to overuse things like that. You really want to try to get to the root of the problem.
Molly Samora, Erie News Now.
After 9 weeks of testimony, nearly 30 witnesses, and well over 11,000 pages of documents, petitioners in the fair funding lawsuit are finished making their case. Now it's up to respondents to make theirs. After filing the suit in 2014, this past November, petitioning school district superintendents and parents finally got the opportunity to argue the constitutionality of Pennsylvania's system of education funding. 10 weeks into the historic fair funding lawsuit, legislative respondents from the General Assembly will now have the opportunity to defend the current system. Over 30 days of testimony from school officials and expert witnesses address serious funding concerns with shortfalls within PA's public schools, especially those in rural and urban areas. Petitioners say the gap in funding between low-wealth and high-wealth area school districts is nearly $5,000 per student and growing. They say the current funding system needs to be reformed and that local wealth should not determine academic success for students. Testimony is expected to last 2 to 3 more weeks before rebuttals and closing arguments in that case. And a New York zoo has had its first penguin chick hatched by a same-sex pair. The new chick hatched on January 1st to 2 male Humboldt penguins at the Rosamond Gifford Zoo in Syracuse. The same-sex foster couple are now the first for the zoo, which has relied on foster parents to incubate eggs in the past. The zoo has had at least 2 breeding pairs of penguins with a history of inadvertently breaking their fertilized eggs. So, to give the eggs a better chance of hatching a chick, keepers may give the egg to a more successful pair to incubate. The zoo joined forces and joined species survival plan for Humboldt penguins in 2005 with the opening of its Penguin Coast exhibit. Now, since then, it has hatched more than 55 penguin chicks. 2 great dads there. Coming up, a bus stuck on a collapsed bridge is finally being removed from that scene in Pittsburgh. We'll take you there. And later, a big push for vegan lifestyles is coming to our area. But first, when we return, a full look at our weather forecast, info you need to know, just moments away.
You're watching WNY News Now, your source for breaking news.
This winter, let New York State take your breath away. Come be a part of it. Plan your winter getaway at iloveny.com.
I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor.
Testicular cancer is the leading form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35.
1 in 250 men will be diagnosed with testicular cancer.
But 98% will survive if detected early.
As a survivor, I believe early detection is the key. Learn how to do a testicular self-exam and other important facts about testicular cancer at oneball4tc.com.
With coverage that matters, this is WNY News Now.
Fast, accurate, and everyday. First Defense Weather.
I've mentioned it before, penguins are my favorite aquatic animal, and as a member of the LGBTQ community, how awesome is that? Anyway, let's take a look at the Mayville Skycam. You can see that the blue skies right now, the high pressure, has really started to clear out the cloud cover, so another nice day out there. Hey, because we had some of the sunshine yesterday, we were able to get a much clearer view of the ice coverage on Lake Erie. Look at how much ice there is on the lake. The only really open spot is this right here on the eastern end. This is basically on our end. Here's Chautauqua Lake right there, and you can see this is the deepest end of the lake right here, so there's not a whole lot of ice there. 93.7% ice covered. 94% basically. So we iced up this lake in about a month's time. It's amazing how much ice is on the lake right now in just a month's time right now. 30 as a noon hour right now, so a mild day. South wind to 14, that does have a wind gust of 23, so the wind chill is down to 19. That does kind of limit the warmth just a little bit, but hey, you know what? Lower 30s, we'll take it this time of the year. That's around average to where we should be this time of the year. But yeah, we've got more winter weather on the way here. Let's take a look at the watches and warnings here. We have a winter storm watch that is in place for all of western New York, the southern tier, and all of northwestern Pennsylvania. That starts tomorrow night and runs all the way through Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. So here's the weather impacts for you. Basically, temperature not too bad. It does get colder on Friday, though. That's why we put it in the moderate category. Snowfall way up in the high category there. So the snowfall really is going to be the big issue. It does turn a little bit breezy on Thursday, but not too bad. And again, the ice accretion problems will be further to the south. It's amazing how when you look at the satellite and radar composite, not a whole lot going on. It's amazing how from Texas all the way to New England in just a day is going to be turning much more active. So let's take you through future scan, showing you nothing through the day, a few clouds filtering in from time to time. The clouds do thicken up overnight, so we'll be partly cloudy early, then clouds return as we go through the overnight hours. Tomorrow, we're more confident now. This is mainly going to be rain. We should stay out of the wintry mix, but should be mainly rain through the day on Wednesday. Notice what happens as the colder air filters in, as the storm starts to pass close to the region. We start changing over to snow showers, and this becomes heavy at times Wednesday night, Thursday night. The snow is going to be steady state basically, and then by the time we go into Friday, we're ultimately going to see the snow tapering off a little bit as we go through the afternoon. So snowfall totals, this is just one model estimate, but I think this is a good idea of what we're looking at here. About 10 to 15 inches looks like a good estimate here about what we're looking at. The lower totals is going to be found further to the south. When you get closer to the storm center, there's going to be a little bit more mixing, so that's going to hold down the totals. Once you work up north, the higher totals. Once you work up towards Buffalo, Niagara Falls, that'll likely be where the higher totals will be, but for the southern tier, we're looking at a good 10 to 15 inches worth of snow. These numbers may need to be adjusted for tomorrow, so check back and we'll have the official final call numbers for tomorrow. Lower 30s will do it today. Just a quiet start to the month. Happy February, by the way. The next 7 days of your life are coming up on the screen. So 39 tomorrow. Again, we're confident because temperatures are remaining above freezing, will stay mainly rain. The heavy snow potential Thursday and Friday tapers off later in the day. Temperatures go back down into the upper teens on Saturday, but we should stay dry. Chance for at least a few light snow showers on Monday, but temperatures do bounce back a little bit into the mid-20s.
The Food and Drug Administration has fully approved Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. It's been given to adults under emergency use authorization up until now. The approval makes it the second such vaccine alongside Pfizer's to receive the FDA's nod. Both vaccines are what are considered to be an mRNA vaccination. A key difference is Moderna has never been approved or authorized for people under the age of 18. Pfizer's shot is fully approved for anyone 16 and older and authorized for people as young as 5 years and up. Moderna has named its vaccine a Spikevax. Well, Port Authority bus involved in last week's bridge collapse in Pittsburgh was pulled from the ravine just before dark yesterday. Now, earlier Monday, a crane lifted 3 other vehicles from the collapsed structure. Approximately 125 gallons of fuel had to be offloaded from the bus before it could be lifted out. One person is still in the hospital with serious injuries from that collapse, but they are expected to survive. The investigation into what caused the Fern Hollow Bridge collapse is still under review right now. And President Biden's domestic agenda, trying to provide for things like child tax credits and climate change investments, have been a tough pass in Congress, but a group of protesters blocked off a few D.C. streets yesterday, hoping to keep that agenda alive. Our Washington, D.C. correspondent Rachel Knapp reports.
Early Monday morning, what do we want? Activists with the group Shut Down DC disrupted business as usual in the nation's capital with one goal in mind.
Now this protest shut down a couple of blocks here in the heart of DC. And the White House, as you can see right behind me, it's one of the backdrops of this protest. They say they really want to get President Biden's attention. Legislation.
The president also hasn't done all that he can do to make sure that it passes. We're calling on him to have a backbone and move Build Back Better. We're calling on the Senate to have a spine and Build Back Better.
This roughly $2 trillion proposal would extend the child tax credit, expand health care, and provide one of the largest climate change investments. To visualize the need for this legislation, protesters brought out a couple of props.
We have things that represent vision and dental and climate justice and childcare.
The BBB passed the House, but it's held up in the Senate because a handful of Democrats are opposed to it, including the senator from West Virginia, Joe Manchin.
I don't understand why, especially since West Virginia has a large number of people who need the support. Things like the child tax credit helps to lift people up and out of poverty and make ends meet.
Biden promoted to pass BBB again in Pennsylvania last week, but unless all Senate Democrats agree, this legislation is unlikely to move forward. But these protesters say they still have hope.
I believe that it will pass. What we want is no more cuts, and we want this bill to pass and be funded so our communities can get the resources that they need.
In Washington, D.C., Rachel Knapp reporting.
It makes a difference for children.
Rachel, thank you. Well, back here at home not long ago, a married couple from Warren often felt alone in practicing their vegan lifestyle. So they decided to reach out to others in the area who prefer a plant-based diet. The couple found that they have plenty of company, and the numbers are growing. Erie News Now's John Last has the story in his segment, The Last Word.
Have you ever been inside a restaurant and you've looked through the menu and you just can't find anything you'd like to order? Well, if you're vegan, that probably happens a lot.
People who practice a vegan lifestyle enjoy eating out as much as anyone else. However, in places such as Warren County, it's hard to find restaurants that have vegan menu items. Don and Kate Reed of Warren have tried.
But a lot of places just don't even have an option. They're all strictly a meat-based, option for cheese, and it's very difficult sometimes to find an option.
Don and Kate decided to use social media to reach out to other vegans in the Warren area to find out if they would be interested in getting together once a month to eat the foods they prefer. The Warren Vegan Dinner Group was formed.
We've talked about it for several years, is to try to put together a formal group, and last fall we just kind of decided to go for it, and it kind of mushroomed.
This is not only a social group, it's also an educational group. The Reeds have been talking to the owners of Warren area restaurants in an effort to convince them that there is a demand for vegan menu items. Some meat and fish restaurants have agreed to host the dinner group. And guess what? The restaurants came up with some delicious and creative vegan dishes.
The ones that have prepared food for us so far have done a fantastic job. Everyone has fallen in love with it, and we're all hoping that some of these places will put that food on their regular menu.
This month's dinner get-together is being hosted by the Bent Run Brewing Company in Warren. It's a night that the restaurant is usually closed. Bent Run's menu offers nothing that comes close to vegan, except for this night.
Since we're not, open for business, we can plan that type of menu because it's not something we carry all the time, but for, for a certain group, we can make it on a different scale.
I've done a lot of catering, so I was used to doing a lot of different menus where I worked before, but it was a challenge because it is a lot different than normal, coming up with different food.
About 30 of the group's 50 members are here. They love the tofu summer rolls, a roasted butternut squash salad, and the entree, vegan tikka masala. They hope to come back and enjoy those items again.
With The Last Word in Warren, John Last, Erie News Now.
Looks good, John. Thank you. Dakota, the next meeting of the Vegan Dinner Group will be on February 22nd at Mama Jane's restaurant there in Warren. I've tried a couple of different vegan dishes, and I gotta say, It's surprisingly good. Let us know what you guys think about this and more on social media at WNY News Now. Would you give it a shot, Dakota?
I mean, I haven't tried anything vegan, but I mean, maybe I'd give it a try.
Some of those veggie rolls looked really, really good. I mean, you'd be surprised what taste. I've had those Beyond Meat burgers before, and I was surprised how well those tasted. So can't knock till you try it.
Can we get burger? I'm hungry now.
That's it for us today. News 24/7 at WNYNewsNow.com. Have a wonderful day. Stay warm.